When life gets unpredictable, preparation matters. In medicine, it's all about staying alert, ready for whatever comes through the door. On the road, it's no different. That's why Volvo designs vehicles to help anticipate risk, reduce harm, and protect lives. The Volvo XC90's advanced safety systems inspire confident decisions wherever the road takes you. The Volvo XC90, for life. Proud sponsor of the Pit Podcast. Learn more at volvocars.ca/safety.
Welcome back, David Hertel in for Elias. Well, we continue our conversations with the different political parties and their candidates. And while the CAQ constantly refuses our calls and our requests for interviews, the Parti Québécois is accepting ours. Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, the leader of the Parti Québécois, has been on the show. And today we are joined by Pierre Nantel, who is the Parti Québécois candidate in Marie-Victorin, which is basically part of Longueuil on the South Shore. Pierre, thank you very much for taking the time.
Good morning, David.
So, Pierre, first of all, before we get into some of the issues, I mean, the top issue today is violence, and it's been that all week, especially in Montreal, but it involves the greater Montreal area. You have a lot of your constituents in Longueuil that work and go to Montreal. I mean, from the Parti Québécois point of view, how do you react to what you're hearing from Premier Legault, from Mayor Plante? What would you do as a political party to help curb this troubling phenomenon?
Well, the first thing I have to say is, having been in Ottawa for many years, this gun debate has been there forever, and we've been circling around the issue like the elephant in the room, not talking about the fact that many of these armed gangs are not using guns they buy at Canadian Tire, right? They're using guns that are unmarked, that are illegal, that are, of course, illegal, but they are, because we always have to remember that having a handgun is something that can only be allowed to go in a shooting club in a locked box that has to be at a very specific travel from your house to the shooting gallery. And so there's no way people can have that like that. It's like there's no way. And if they do have a gun, outside their premises, outside their home, unlocked, if they're criminals. And if they are criminals, they probably get their guns from the criminal way. And we know they come from the border, they come from upstate New York, and this is the issue that has to be faced. I think that some work has been done by Geneviève Guilbeault on this. It has been done, but it's something that we have to face, and I'm getting tired about having all political parties going around the issue, saying, we're long guns, and that's not the issue. We're not talking about this. We're long guns. I mean, it's almost like military guns that are being used in all these horrible human dramas we've seen in the States, and we have seen our share here in the feminicides that have been happening at Polytechnique. I mean, we've seen that. So we have to face this, and people need more. They want to see more policemen, more policewomen. They want to feel secure. And these issues, of course, have their roots in unfair situations in various neighborhoods, and it spreads across the city, so it tells you a lot.
Monday morning, your leader, Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon, presented his idea to make public transit accessible and desirable. PQ's promising $1 per day unlimited public transit plan. Tell me more about it, and also, how do you plan to pay for it?
Well, the first thing I need to say, because it's equivalent to $1 per day, but it does imply that people get the pass for $365 for a complete year. So that's the first thing. And to me, it is very meaningful, because I think that, again, this is one topic that we've been talking forever. We've been talking about transit-oriented developments for all cities, big or medium, across Quebec, across Canada, across America and Occident, and we've been in the West world, and we've been talking about that forever. And the issue is always to favorize the natural instinct to go for the simplest way to what should be done. And the simplest way, if you have a car in your driveway, is to take the keys, hit the engine, and go. And because when you don't do that for various reasons, for example, you have an issue with your car and you need to take the subway or the bus to go to work in Montreal, then you realize, man, it costs me, in Longueuil, it costs you $5.25 per way, which means $10.50 to go return to Montreal. It's ridiculous. And if the service was great, it would be probably something people would consider on an exceptional basis, and even more if they had an annual pass. But the issue is that the service it has been lowered because of the pandemic now, so it's even worse than it was. So offering a good fare, a good value, and securing this money in the travel agencies and the transport agencies, and making this choice that we will push this so that it does become the average and the majority choice. That'll make the difference, and we all know it has to be done.
Pierre, the PQ has had better days when you look at the polling, and that's just not only true of the PQ. The other traditional party, the PLQ, also is suffering in the polling. You know this. You were the candidate during the by-election in Marie-Victorin a few months ago. You scored 30%, a strong second, yet the CEQ won the riding with 35% of the vote. Obviously, for the PQ, sovereignty is still Article 1. It's still what's driving the PQ. We're commemorating the centennial of René Lévesque's birth, the founder of the PQ. I remember when I was a kid, René Lévesque, was trying to convince the English-speaking community of Quebec to vote for the Parti Québécois. There was a time where the PQ was courting the Anglophone vote. We've seen less of that, and I really respect you coming on this morning to discuss the PQ's positions. But at the same time, when you're pushing sovereignty, you have more difficulty with English-speaking Quebecers. What do you say to them who are listening to you today?
Well, the first thing I'd say is that Paul Saint-Pierre Plamondon is a very contemporary advocate for independence of Quebec. He is surely very inclined to speak, to go towards the English community. He himself has graduated from Oxford. He's been traveling around the world. And being for the sovereignty of Quebec is not being against our English community, is not being against English at all. It's just various issues that are so important that obviously are not as well served within Canada for the Quebec nation that they would be if we had our own level and controls and tools. I would say that the English community is, but of course, if we oppose things, it's going to be tough to speak to the English community. But the reality is that most Anglos in Quebec they're not in Ontario. They appreciate the difference. They feel the difference, and they are part of our difference actually. And so there's just a way of tendre la main, lending a hand and say,
building bridges.
Building bridges. We're in a distinct society, and our Anglos are part of it. They know it. They live it. They absolutely know. They know they're not in Toronto, and they know they're not in St. John's. So we just have to make sure that nobody is afraid of this, being more affirmative, because the reality is that, for example, for me, what made me do the big jump to the Parti Québécois, is when François Legault asked us to vote Conservative. How can you ask people to vote Conservative in this climate crisis we're facing? So that's the first thing. And it added up to my impatience to see how the CAQ people were not responsive to all the efforts that have been done, especially by me, I have to say, to confront the government about the fact that the platforms like the Netflix and the Spotify are not regulated. And they need to be regulated so that we still have our strong Canadian content and strong Quebec content. We have strong Quebec content. We all know that. We see that all the time. Canadian content is great. It's shipped to the States, and it's understandable. It's a great market. But for Quebec, we need to protect the place we have, our share of market, and the issue that it has on the export of our talent. And this has nothing has been done on this in Ottawa. People have attempted stuff. Stephen Guilbeault did attempt stuff, but it's going to be very difficult because it's not something that's as important in English Canada. So these things have to be changed. And I'm sure English Quebecers know that. They see that. And it's important that they know that we are not there to attack them at all. We're just there to protect what's the distinction of Quebec, which also includes I have studied Concordia. I've been living in the western part of Montreal for many years. I understand that. And it's my family's in O'Donoghue, Nantel, right? So I got big Irish roots. So there's no fight there. It's just a matter of taking the time to speak.
Pierre, I really appreciate you taking the time, and I wish you the best for the campaign.
Thank you so much, David.
Pierre, you too. Pierre Nantel, a candidate for the Marie-Victorin riding for the Parti Québécois. Marie-Victorin is, of course, mainly Longueuil, right here on the South Shore.